Hey, animal athlete Shawn Smith here. Some people talk to you about controlling your appetite during dieting. Now, why is that important? It's because a lot of people sabotage their fat loss because they get hungry and they eat off their diet, and then all of a sudden they're not losing weight. So, there's kind of a two-pronged approach that I use to minimize hunger during dieting. One is based towards hormonal changes, manipulating hormones. The other one is through manipulating satiation, or slowing down digestion. So one of the hormones we can try to influence is insulin. Insulin controls blood sugar levels. So when insulin goes up, blood sugar levels go down. When blood sugar levels fall too low, then you're going to get really hungry. So if you can control the release of insulin, you can better control your hunger levels. Typically, the faster carbohydrate is released, is broken down into glucose, the more insulin you're going to release. So if you emphasize complex carbohydrates in your diet, things like oats, sweet potatoes, brown rice, vegetables, that's going to control your insulin levels and therefore control your hunger. Other hormones we can try to influence are ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is a hormone that's associated with feelings of being hungry, and leptin is a hormone that is associated with the feeling of being full. Now, when you have a poor night's sleep or you don't get enough sleep, your ghrelin is going to increase and your leptin is going to decrease. So a big thing that you can try to control your appetite, or one thing that you can influence try to control your appetite, is making sure that you get a full night's sleep. I find I take Animal PM right before I go to bed, and that knocks me out and I get a really good night's sleep. Another hormone that we can try to influence is a hormone called CCK. And CCK will delay gastric emptying. This is important because it'll slow down your digestion so you feel fuller longer. There's certain ingredients in animal cuts that actually increases the amount of CCK. And what that does is that tightens, it's called the pyloric sphincter in the stomach, and it kind of restricts or lowers the rate at which food is emptied into the small intestine. Another approach that you can use is to try to directly influence feelings of satiation. So basically just filling your stomach. Water would be one of the approaches. Increased water intake is going to enhance fat loss and muscle building anyway, so you should probably be drinking a lot of water. But drinking lots of water during meals and in between meals will obviously fill your stomach more, but it's also going to slow down digestion as well. One of the best ways you can control satiation and appetite is through increased fiber intake. So I make sure my diet is really high in dietary fiber. So a lot of green vegetables, things like oats, sweet potatoes, brown rice you could use as well. Those things are going to take up a lot of space in your stomach, and they're also going to slow down your digestion. Anything with a lot of bulk. So really low calorie dense foods. So things like lettuce, spinach, you could use cucumbers. Usually when I'm dieting, I make a huge bowl of salad with every meal when I'm really deep into prep. And that's usually enough to carry me over to the next meal. Another thing that's really important to incorporate are dietary fats. A lot of people shy away from incorporating dietary fats into their cutting diets because they mistakenly associate taking in dietary fats with keeping or adding body fat. I like to add macadamia nut oil, avocados, nuts, salmon, whole eggs into my diet at certain times. This will slow down digestion of food, delay gastric emptying, it'll increase your satiation, so you'll be less likely to be hungry in between meals. As far as supplements go, anything containing stimulants is generally going to decrease your feelings of hunger. So Animal Cuts, which is award-winning by the way, contains stimulants that typically tend to decrease those feelings of hunger, and it will also slow down gastric emptying through manipulation of CCK, like I spoke about earlier. There's also a new flavor of Animal Cuts coming out in January, strawberry watermelon, so look out for that. Another thing people tend to do is eat out of boredom. So they just sit around, they get bored, and they just want to snack on something. So what I find if I'm sitting around with nothing to do and I'm hungry is I'll actually go for a walk or try to do some kind of physical task that takes my mind off being hungry. And as a bonus, you'll of course increase your calorie expenditure for the day. So in summary, just try to reduce your calories slowly. Try to incorporate a lot of foods high in fiber. Incorporate your healthy fats. Exercise whenever you're feeling hungry. Try to get a good night's sleep, and also supplement with Animal Cuts or some other type of stimulant in order to decrease those feelings of hunger.